Record. We're rolling, Smokey.
We're rolling.
So-
do you edit it?
So what I'll do is I'll send you the link, and if there's anything you want edited out, I can certainly edit it out before it
It's
goes
just my stammering.
live. And before we get started here, you know what? I'm going to get a little closer to you.
These are heavy chairs.
What's that?
Heavy chairs.
Before we get started, here's something I didn't do with my first couple of guests. Why don't you tell everybody who you are and why you're here?
Oh. Hi, my name's Ken Gebhardt, and I was the owner of Park&Orchard restaurant in East Rutherford. And my pal Tom here was a very good customer. And let's see, we sold the restaurant in 2015, and we retired, and I retired completely. I did think about, what do they call it?
Consulting?
Consulting, but I figured, who would want to know what I know? Because we just opened up a restaurant because we wanted to. We always thought it was good. We were going to keep it for 2 years, and that 2 years lasted for 38 years.
So
It's very unusual for a restaurant to
It
be
is.
in business.
that long.
Most restaurants go out the first year, and about 95% of them go out in 5 years. So we were one of the few.
So if you don't mind, I'd like to correct you.
Sure.
His restaurant was, him and his brother, a cut above everything in the neighborhood. It was upscale but casual.
Mhm.
They had some amazing dishes, and you had a few different types of customers. So you had foodies that just loved,
Mhm.
but you also served big like people would take home half their. I was never a big portion kind of guy, but I think that also attracted a lot of your audience too.
Yeah.
You served
But
hefty portions.
well, when we first started, we didn't know how much to give.
Oh, is that what it was?
And we always wanted a complete restaurant. If there wasn't many sides that we had. When you ordered a dinner, you got a soup or a salad, and you got a dinner with your starch or potatoes, rice, whatever you wanted, and the protein. So you have to fit all that together, and we wanted to serve a complete dinner.
But you guys were also famous for your loaves of bread.
Right.
And so now, if you had 100 tables in a night, that's 100 loaves plus whatever people took home.
Right.
How did you manage to, and you baked it, right? On prem, right? How did you manage to bake that much bread to have was there some frozen at some point, or?
No, we
It was
never
fresh every
frozen.
day.
Fresh every day.
How the hell did you bake that many loaves?
Well, the guy would come in at 5 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
and that's what he would start. He'd start, and he would make, we knew about how many people we were going to do because of history, not
Right.
because of reservation.
I remember you used to keep head counts.
Yeah.
Right. And then you'd base this year on last year, or.
Yeah, well, it's just for personal knowledge, we never forecasted what we were going to do. We knew that this we would do it more by money than head counts.
Oh, okay.
Because we knew if we did $25,000 a week, we knew what we were going to need. And certain weeks of the year, you get to know when it's going to be busy, when it's not going to be busy. and the chef who made the bread knew how many to make.
Wow.
So, and we made some breadcrumbs out of old loaves, but mostly if they, we threw away the extras.
Wow.
And that's one thing about a restaurant. You have to know that you got to throw away things that aren't, fresh and good. And you just have to, it's one of the things that you have to do. You can't keep them. You can't try to serve them. You can't try to, give people old stuff, bad chicken, bad fish.
Well, right, bad chicken, bad fish. But the bread, you could have given it the next day, maybe, right? No,
No, we never kept it.
Not that kind of bread.
No.
Wow.
No, we never kept it. The crust would get really, very thick the second day. I don't think we ever saved any. I don't remember, completely, but no, we made fresh bread every day.
Gotcha.
And when they were forming it, we had a 60-quart mixer, and everybody that was working at the time would go and form the bread. If I was walking by, I'd form the bread to put in the little thing.
You did it by weight or by feel?
By feel. You just grabbed it.
You just knew.
Yeah. You grabbed enough. If it's too much, you tear a little off.
It all fit if it fit in the pan, it was good? Got it.
So, and we pretty much had it down. There was, like legends with the bread. People would come in and say, oh, I was here when they had raisins. If they were, and there was something in the bread, they weren't raisins. Okay? We never had raisins in the bread. We never had.
So what could it have been? Or maybe they just don't remember.
They don't remember. People used to tell me all about what we used to. I remember when this was completely vegetarian. But when we started, we always served chicken, fish, and shrimp.
Right. Never in the beginning there was no beef.
No beef. No beef for a long, long time.
But I came to a wine tasting once, and you guys served. It was one of those events where it was just like the back room, and you guys served burgers, and the burgers were off the charts.
Yeah, the burgers were good. Burgers were good. The roast beef was good. Well, you got to serve something to go with that.
Sure, sure.
But we good bourbon Tom gave me.
Thank you, thank you. Hey, I'm going to cut this focaccia since we're talking about bread. And then when we get up to temperature, would you like it with tomato or just plain?
Probably with tomato.
Okay. So I just baked this a little while ago. Why don't we? I'll have a piece of that myself. It's basically the same dough. I just put herbs and salt on this one, and this one just has a little tomato.
We used to put basil and parsley in the bread, but that was only for the first 2 years. So
I don't think I ever had that because
then after we
I remember it was some you had some kind of oat flakes or something on the outside. I don't know if it was oats, but
we put oats in the bread.
So this is my well, I got it from a book, but I've been doing it for years. It's just a sourdough starter focaccia. It's just a pretty high hydration. I popped them in there earlier, but I had to keep the temperature lower for this, otherwise I've got dark spots. And this one I did out there too. I had to you got to be careful. It's blueberry. When I first got this thing, I discovered quickly that if you turn around, shit burns and burns fast.
Well, not everything likes to be heated from the bottom up, right?
Well, it's funny. I mean, the floor gets a certain temperature, right? But if you got flame, then you got a rolling flame. So you're hitting it from
Mm.
a few angles, and it takes some getting used to.
Mm.
But I'm having so much fun with it.
And you smoke things?
Yeah, so I've had
I
that
have
for
one.
22 years.
I have one.
You have one of those. I love that thing.
Mm.
And that's what I was saying. There's no competition here. Like, that does what it does, and it does it very well.
Mm-hmm.
And then this does what it does. And, you could probably do some of the things you do in this, but, let the egg do egg things,
Right.
and let this do its things. I'm going to check the floor, see if I have to put another log in. The dome cleared 700. All right, I'm going to put another log. Oh, yeah, I remember Buddy had the Latoche plates.
Mm-hmm.
That was. I never saw the cellar.
No.
I was never inside. And I'm sure you didn't let,
No, we let
civilians in there.
everybody in.
Really?
Yeah.
I was never in there. Was it behind the bar? Or downstairs?
The whites were behind the bar. The other ones were behind the extension. The smoking, or what used to be smoking, the side room.
Oh, okay.
It was all under there.
Oh, okay. Was there a basement?
Only under there.
Because I would imagine, like, 17 floods, you couldn't.
Oh, we flooded.
Oh,
We
you-
had
you
a
did flood?
constant. When they built it, when we first got it, that wasn't on, and that was in 1985. And around 1989, we built the side room, and the office was on top of there. And when they were building it, it's did you ever hear Boiling Spring, like Boiling Springs Avenue? Well,
Oh, wait, there's a bank there that says Boiling
Boiling
Spring.
Spring.
Yeah.
Well, Boiling Springs actually comes under us. There's a aquifer under like the extension, and it went right under where LT's was.
I remember LTs.
Okay. In LT's, before that it was lawns.
Mhm.
They had a door in the basement that you can open up, and you can see the water just passing
That's
underneath.
crazy.
So
Did they tear LTs down, or did they just repurpose the building?
did they? I think
I remember lawns, and I remember LT.
I think they tore that down.
They tore it down, right?
That one was the federal, the
Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve.
Oh, that's where it is.
No, it was on 17.
Right. I don't know, but I don't remember
where the
exactly.
gas
I
station
don't remember
was.
how far it was.
Where the gas station was.
Got it.
And before that, when we first started, there was a hot dog place right there.
There is a hot dog place there now.
No, that's
A different one.
That's up further in Carlsbad.
Okay, Hank's Franks or something.
No, Hank's Frank's on
That's
on
over
Route
there.
46.
There was another hot dog place near the.
This was the hot dog house.
Oh, I never been to that place.
That's in Carlsbad. But there was one that went out of business, where Lawns eventually went, then LT's went, and now it's a gas station. So,
Gotcha.
but where were we?
I don't know. We were talking about. I was asking about the wine cellar because I had
Oh.
never. But I mean, you had an award-winning cellar, and you had a lot of.
We were a Grand Award winner for 25 years, and until we ended, and we were the only. They had the Wine Spectator had several levels.
Right.
There's the Grand Award winners, and below there is the best of the wine, the awards of excellence. Then there's the awards of excellence, and in all those categories, and especially in the Grand Awards, we were the only casual restaurant in that.
Uh huh.
But Wine Spectator used to come and they used to eat in the place. So, no, they knew us. We never really sold. We sold a lot of wine, but it wasn't as lucrative as you would think. It was a. It was a hobby of my brother's.
Sure.
When we first, before we moved to the large economy size restaurant, we were across the street, one building off Park and Orchard,
Okay.
where the Mexican restaurant is now, Fiesta Hut.
Yes, the hut.
You know where Park and Orchard is?
The corner of Park and Orchard.
Hmm.
Right. There's a Fiesta Hut there?
No.
No.
Across the street.
Okay.
And then down further, you have, you know where
I
David
know where
Scarborough
the
is?
Star Tavern is and all that, right? That's down further. Way
Park
further.
Tavern.
Park Tavern.
Yeah, Park Tavern's all the way down. In the middle of the block on the other side, there was a place called the Wonder Bar. We bought that building
Okay.
after 2.5 years and on the corner of Park and Orchard. And that's where we got our liquor license because it was a bar.
Got it.
And we bought that in the time of 22% interest rates, you know, in 81. Thank God for President Reagan. I don't want to bring, I don't want to bring anything in here, but
You know, it's funny how presidents get labeled for when something good or something bad happens. You know, like whenever you say Carter, you think of the energy crisis and everything.
and
But-
the hostages.
Right. But as it turns out, like he really did a lot of good things late. Like he's a good person. You know what I mean? Like
He
did
was a
lot
good
of really-
person, but he wasn't a good
he
president.
was- but I don't think you could blame everything that happened on him. Maybe you could say he didn't handle certain things the way he should have. But I don't think you could blame everything on a president. It doesn't matter
I
who it is,
voted
right?
for him. I voted for
Uh-huh.
Carter.
I don't know who I voted for. Oh no, I didn't vote for him. I was 10 years old.
Oh.
It was 1973, right? 73 when he-
76.
76, yeah. So I was 13 years old.
You're lucky. You didn't have that
Yeah.
on your conscience
Yeah.
for the rest of your life. But no, Reagan did a good job.
I think he did.
And he got the interest rates down to what now people think are very high.
Uh,
You know, 7.5%. You know, that was the average
well,
when I was growing. When I was
when I
at
bought
that-
this place, I was at 7% or so,
Yeah.
but then they went lower, and I kept refinancing. You know, and when I bought my first place in Lodi, same thing. It was like 7-8% when I bought
right,
the place.
that was the usual rates all the time. Under Carter went.
That's when things went high.
That you had the fuel crisis, you know, you had price controls, and you just can't say you can't charge more for like say gasoline than $2 a gallon. Well, if you can't charge more, then the people that are making the gasoline,
Right.
they're not going to make it. So there wasn't any gasoline to go around. We had lines to get gasoline.
I remember the lines.
You know,
I remember the lines
But you didn't
very
have
well.
to. You were a kid. You
I
didn't
was a
have
kid.
to.
I didn't. Yeah.
You didn't care. You had your. Well, you didn't have an iPad in the back of the.
No, none of that. None of that existed. You know, I did a whole. I don't know if you know that I do. Well, I'm not a comedian, but I go to open mics, and I've been practicing trying to become,
Mhm.
funny. And I did a whole bit on that. Remember the Bronx Tale?
Yeah.
Right. And he said to the kid, he's like, "Take my car, and when you go to her house, you lock the doors, and then when you take her to the car, you open her door. If she doesn't lean over and open your latch, she's a selfish bitch, and you dump her, right?" And I said,
That's right.
but
That's
technology has ruined everything, because now my car is a smart car, right? So when I approach the car, it unlocks.
It unlocks.
And if my wife approaches the car before I do, it unlocks for her, but it adjusts my seat for her short legs, because she's got short legs and she's a selfish bitch, right?
Well, now you have bucket seats in most cars.
Right.
You have the transmission in the middle. You can't get over there.
Right.
You know, the cars back then had
was different.
much more generous
We didn't
front
have to wear
seats.
seatbelts either.
Much generous front seats and much generous back seats.
Yep.
I don't want to go further than that.
I hear you. Hey, I'm gonna start a pizza.
Okay.
Do you want to help?
Sure. I'll watch for a while.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this on, and that's gonna illuminate my area.
Okay. Now you make it on the.
Well, I'm not good enough. I'm gonna dress it on the peel. So let's see. Am I recording? Yeah, I'm recording. Good.
Hello.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So just going to throw a little of that down. I'm going to do the. So this is classic Neapolitan style dough. The first one. What just broke?
I don't know. Maybe something moved with the wind.
Oh, maybe. All right. So I already screwed it up, because
You did.
pulling it out. It's okay. I'll fix it. So pulling it out, it kind of. So what I want to do is I want to pinch to the edge and leave a little crust on the side there. But because it kind of.
I want you to know that I was never successful with. I tried it, and I couldn't get it from the marble to the peel.
Oh no.
It would stick, and it would.
Well, it's funny. Like you said earlier when we were talking before the cameras were on, you like to cook, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you open your restaurant. I've been making pizza since I'm in my 20s, right? But not. You know how when you have a restaurant, you're making 100 dishes a night, right? And me, I'm making pizza, twice a month. Right. So, of course, I'm never going to get.
Do you make a sauce for that?
Yeah, this is my sauce, but it's a simple sauce. It's just San Marzano tomatoes, and I simmered it with a little garlic and some herbs and a little salt and pepper. So people will say, well, that's bad, because Neapolitan should be a raw sauce, but I don't care, because I like the cooked sauce.
I think the problem with pizzas today is that they just get a whole thing of tomatoes, and it's not very tasty.
What do you mean?
There's no herbs in it. There's no.
Well, so that's part of that's part of my.
When I grew up, you went to different pizzerias because of the way they tasted.
Yes.
And The only difference from one pizzeria to another is the sauce, because the cheese was always the same.
Are they all buying their cheese from the same place?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Probably.
what's the difference between Polio and
Right.
all the other ones?
Right.
That you
Right.
have?
Right.
You know, there's really not that much of a difference.
No, I agree with you. But what I'm finding is,
And what's that?
that's Parmigiano Reggiano.
Mm-hmm.
So the most, I mean, I don't think there's one single most important part. The sauce has to be good, obviously, right? The just a little oregano. You got to have the right. You see, the wind is crazy, right? All right, let's launch it. Hold on, before we launch it, let's just stretch it a bit. But you see that I ruined that, but that's okay.
It's okay. Now you leave the door open when the pizza's in there?
Yeah. Yeah, and see now I've got the fire on the side, so you see how I got that log really close to it?
Mm-hmm.
I got to manage that. Otherwise, we're going to have an issue like right away. Shut that off. So you see how...
You don't want to move the log?
Well, I will move the log, but first I'm going to move the pizza out of the way. But I don't want to try to move the pizza until...
It sets, right?
What's that?
It sets.
Yeah. Right, there we go. Ah, I'm stuck. See, I should have just
corner over.
I should have done what I've been doing right along, which is leave the flame in the back. That's what I should have done. But that's okay. We'll be fine.
What a should have, could have.
Yep. I was thinking that I might try to get fancy tonight and try to put two in at once, but you see how I just don't have that skill yet.
Right.
I'm going to brush those. As soon as we get this one out, I'll brush them to the side.
That's okay.
But you see what's happening. Look at how it's popping. You see
I know.
It's wild. So I've been having a lot of fun with this thing.
Did you ever go to Pepe's Pizza in Hartford?
In where?
Pepe's Pizza?
Hartford, Connecticut?
Yeah.
I've been to Frank Pepe's in New Haven, yeah.
Oh, in New Haven.
Yeah, I've been there. But he's got a bunch of chains now.
Yeah.
See how fast it's cooking?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I didn't bring out? I didn't bring out my pizza cutter. I have a knife here. I'll go get the pizza cutter. I forgot to bring that out. You see, I have everything out here, but not that. Right? I don't have my...
Jesus, Tom, come on.
God damn it, huh? I'm fired, right?
That's it. This is the last time I'm coming here.
I'm so glad you came, man. I really am. So, I mean, I have so many questions about... I'm not going to open a restaurant, right? You know,
Okay.
But I have so many questions about, like you already covered when you made the bread, how you throw stuff away, right? But like kitchen economy, like the economy of how you purchase the whatever you're going to whatever you need to make what you're going to make that day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's also... Yeah, look at that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think it's done. I just have to run in and get the cutter. And you see how it's all ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. The next one will be prettier.
I hope so. I hope so.
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to cutter it. You know what? I'll just cut it with a knife.
You can't cut it with a knife.
I'll get the cutter. I'll be right back.
You'll pull all the cheese all over.
That's true.
All over the pizza.
That's true. I'll be right back. There's no good pizza in the neighborhood.
It's hard, you know. I think they all, you know.
I mean, I'm not telling people where I live so that, nobody gets upset about, here, why don't you grab a...
Which one's a good one?
Whichever one you want.
That one.
and then I want to do the same pizza but with the other dough, the sourdough starter. So
You don't put any oil or anything?
you know what? I forgot to do it.
Oh.
I have it right here, and I forgot to do it. I'll do it on the next one. The a lot of the places around here, actually, there was a place. I forget the name of the street. Hoboken Road, maybe, where they've got those. I liked one of the places there, and I saw a sign there under new management. So I'm gonna try it.
I have to tell you something about me. It's that if I don't like it, I don't eat it.
Outstanding. So you're eating it.
I'm eating it.
So you said you don't like liver?
Oh no.
I don't like liver either. But I made that for my wife, and I said, you know what? I'm going to taste it. I liked it, and I don't like liver.
What do you use? Calf's liver?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mother, who was a very good cook, and who listened to a guy named Carlton Fredericks. Well, he was the health food guru. We would only kids that had whole wheat bread, you know, for our lunches and things like that. And he was from Fairleigh Dixon, and he came to our restaurant, and we told him. He didn't care. We told him that my mother listened to him.
He didn't care.
I don't think so.
Well, you know, was he like a big celebrity?
He was on the radio every day.
I think sometimes, you know, those guys, they hear too much. You know, they like, you can't. I don't know.
You heard Gary Knoll?
Who's Gary Knoll?
Gary Knoll was he's still around. He's a big health food guy. And when we first started, can I tell a story about Gary Knoll?
Yeah, of course. There's no taboo here.
When we first started, he would say, when I go to a restaurant and review it, I go in completely unannounced and eat the food. And after, I call the chef over and I say, give him constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Gary Knoll came into us, we were at the time, we were probably after about a year, and we were pretty popular, especially in the health food thing, because we served a lot of organic stuff, and
You were doing that before everybody else.
it wasn't a plan. But he came in and he called before. His secretary called before and said, Gary Knoll would like to come in and review your restaurant. And he's going to be with 6 people. He's going to come in at 7 o'clock. He picked these dishes. He already had a menu. He picked these dishes that he'd like to try.
Mm-hmm.
So he came in and he had 6 people with him, and we put the 6 dishes out, and they all had a little things, little plates that they could take the 6 dishes from.
Uh-huh.
And I came out, and I said, "Well, how did you like it?" And he said, "Well, it was," or I said to the table, "How was everything?"
Mhm.
And they said, "Boy, this place is really good. Everything was good, but this dish right here, this was the best." Says, "Well," Gary says, "Well, that one was a little salty, and it was a little this, a little of that." And then everybody at the table said, "Yeah, that was right. It was a little salty. It was a little this, it was a little that." Anyway, on the so he went. We used to serve Martinelli's apple juice,
Right.
sparkling cider, and he had that. And before he left, he asked for, "Could I have 2 cases of that sparkling cider?" Oh, and he says he pays his bill. He never paid his bill.
Really?
Oh,
But how do they get away with not paying the bill?
anyway, he said on the radio, he says, "I always pay the bill, and then I talk to the chef." Well, no, he never paid, didn't even offer.
Wow.
Anyway, so he gave us a very good review. The next time he came in was the same thing, called, a couple of days before, I'm bringing 6 people in. We'll choose our dinners when we get there. So then he came into the kitchen, and it was one of the nights that my brother and I were both there. And he said, "Gus, I want you to be Gary Knowles' restaurant."
What does that mean?
Well, that means that I would I would advertise you on the radio. I do everything to pump you up, but you would have to stop serving chicken, and fish. Well, we said, "Well, we can't stop serving chicken and fish. That's mostly what we sell.
Uh-huh.
The vegetarian items, the casseroles. We sold a lot of those, but more so, oh, you can't do that." So he said, "Well, we would never do that. We would never stop serving chicken and fish."
Uh-huh.
It was one of the first things that we came out with. So
Getting cold.
still good. I like it. I'll come back.
So I'm going to make the other one. So
So
he
he said, "We want you to be Gary Knowles' restaurant. We'll pump you up." He asked for another 2 cases of the
what the
apple
hell?
cider. Didn't pay his bill. And the next, we told him no. We
Uh-huh.
didn't want to be Gary Knowles' restaurant. We want to be our restaurant.
Right. That's right.
No. The next day, on his radio show, he was on every day, WOR. And he said, "I went to Park and Orchard last night, and they are no longer on my recommended eating list."
That's crazy.
This is what you have to put up with.
I got to tell you,
The food wasn't good. I asked them to stop serving chicken and fish in the reviews. I just can't. I mean, how do you fight that? The other thing, when he came in about 3 or 4 times. That was the last time he came in. But on a middle time, he was given a talk about cancer and what you should eat to
mitigate the risk.
yeah, at Fairleigh Dickinson, and he came in after that, and he was talking, and he said, I said, "What did you talk about?" He said, "I was talking about cancer and everything." And this lady came up to me, and she said, "Gary, I have throat cancer, and what could I do to help myself? Now, this was a public thing where people came to listen to him talk. He said to her, honest to God, he said to her, you know, ma'am, I like to help everybody. I can't take the time to help individuals with their problems.
Huh.
How's that?
Wow.
How's that? How is that about Gary Null?
Holy shit. He's still on the
Yeah.
radio now?
He's somewhere. He's got these
I
retreats.
gotta Google this guy.
I
Gary Knoll.
and
K-N-O?
he has a farm up in New York State
Uh-huh.
that he invites people up to work,
Oh, okay.
to clean the stalls, you know, whatever he has up there.
You know, I always felt that the Bergen record was
It gave us our
the
stuff.
review. Oh, really?
Oh,
They gave you the stuff. See, I always thought they always missed the ball. Like they just didn't give the proper reviews. They were good for you guys though.
Oh,
That's good.
Open,
I'm happy.
We were open 2 months maybe when they came in, and they gave us a good review. After that, you couldn't get in a restaurant.
Wow.
Every day.
I always felt that they always missed the ball, but I'm glad they helped you guys.
Then we got a little restaurant with 13 tables. Got a 2-star review in the New York Times after 6 months. I have to say, my doctor at the time, Dr. Rodriguez, God rest his soul, brought Ann Sims, who was the New Jersey, and he called us before and told us that he was bringing her. He paid his bill. But we were a little restaurant, and the title of the review, if I remember correctly, was "A Good Bet Near the Meadowlands."
A good what?
A good bet.
Oh,
because I think it was before the stadium. It was just with the racetrack.
Yeah, there was just a racetrack initially, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to make the exact same pizza, only using the other dough.
Now, do you go out in the cold and go in that thing?
Oh yeah, you want to go in?
No.
You sure?
I would never.
I got swim trunks upstairs. I could lend you.
No, I would never. Maybe in the summertime.
Actually, it's 101 degrees in that thing, so it's actually quite nice. Like when it's colder out.
Nope. I'm never bringing my trunks here. Okay.
Okay.
That's a little one?
This is the same. So by weight, they're the same size. They're the same size, both doughs. It's just that this one. So I use my sourdough starter, the same one that's in that focaccia, in this one, and I started this one on Monday. You know what? Let me put a little more semolina down, so it doesn't stick onto the peel before I. And then, like I said, the other one I started.
Why don't you make it on here? Is there oh, you do make it on
I
here.
will. I will. And then we're going to do something else after, which is going to be.
I know this is going to be repulsive to you.
What is that?
But I grew up in Fairview. And when I grew up in Fairview, it was probably 98% Italian.
There were a lot of good
And-
pizza places in Fairview
And
and Cliffside.
and my parents didn't tell me that I wasn't Italian until I graduated high school, so I would fit in, you know? So
Well, what is Gebhardt?
it's German.
Okay. What am I forgetting here?
And my mother was a Russian Jew,
No shit.
but we were brought up Protestant. I
Wow.
need some more right now.
You want more? Go ahead, put it on.
No, I said you need some
Oh
more.
yeah, I have another bottle in the house.
The bigger bottles.
Well, that's the problem, right? Costco, the Costco nation. I don't have enough room in the house for all that shit, right?
Anyway,
So you're a Russian Jew.
well, half
What's the other half?
German.
That's right.
German Protestant, Russian Jew.
Wow.
But my father was the religious one in the
So
family.
the engineering side of you came from the Jew side, right?
The smart side came
The
from-
smart side, right?
My father was
Ashkenazi Jew?
my father was a smart guy. All our kids are very smart. Mine and Buddy. So,
See, I'm
I
not
don't
that
know.
smart, but my son's smart because I married Asian.
huh?
So my son got the smart genes from that.
Nothing's coming out. There we
There
go.
it goes. I was supposed to do this earlier and I forgot. All right, now we'll stretch it. Well, I'm not really stretching it that good, am I?
No,
Yeah, that's fine.
looks nice.
It'll all work out. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let's brush that over. And then I got to put another log on to make sure the temperature stays,
hmm
but after this one comes out. You're going to get one of these, aren't you?
No.
You're not?
No, I live in a townhouse.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not going to work then.
And before I went in, there were two things that I wanted. I have to have something for my egg.
Right?
You know? Well, this feels heavier than mine.
That's 22 years old, that egg.
Oh, mine's pretty old.
Oh, but you know what? Maybe the spring is
Yeah, the spring
shot, and that's why.
shot. There is no spring. It's not shot. It's non-existent.
Really? I thought there was a spring on it.
Yeah, here's the rest
Yeah,
of the spring.
there's a spring. Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is not. Anyway,
I love that thing.
Hmm.
Oh my God. So I do a pulled pork, 18 hours. You do the
Yeah.
same thing, I'm sure.
I don't do it for 18 hours, but I do my briskets for like 13.
Texas?
Yeah, Texas barbecue.
Do you ever do pastrami?
No, I never did.
I did
this one.
pastrami.
Yeah?
Oh my God. So good.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Look at that. See how that's puffing so nice?
Hmm.
God damn. I love this thing.
But what I was telling you about,
You know how some guys go out and they wash their car because they love their car?
the two things are I needed a real barbecue out on the, because I don't want to cook on gas.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to bring my egg. And the other thing I wanted to do was wash my car.
There you go. See? See?
That's why I have that.
That's why I came out. I was like, that's a fancy looking car. I got to see what that is.
560 horsepower.
Wow.
Like that.
That's crazy.
No electric. But the electric cars are fast.
I have a buddy that had a Tesla. And then
it's so fast.
I had him come over here one day. And I was like, where's Tesla? He said, I had to get rid of that thing. I couldn't go. I was like, yeah, you wouldn't have made it to my house. He lives in Mendham. I said, you wouldn't have made it to my house without stopping to charge that.
But they're so fast.
Yeah, I heard that they're really fast.
Well, you have to get the right one to be fast.
That's why I bought this thing, because at nighttime, you can't see, unless you got a flame, like a nice flame, you can't see it. But you see those little leopard spots there on the side. That's what I'm. So let's see. I'll turn it this way. I want to get some on that side.
So what do I look up for Tom Romeo?
For what? I'll send you the link.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, it's actually it's. So my last name is Romeo, right?
Yeah.
And it's Romeo and Juliet. So I have a thing called Romeo's Julienne. Like, so that's my thing. I think we're done. Yeah, give it another 30 seconds, and that's coming out. And then I'll put another log on, because I want to make another. Maybe a white pie, if that's okay with you.
What's your white pie?
I'm not being racist or anything.
No, I know.
But so the white pie that I do, I'm ripping off this guy from Brooklyn, Best Pizza. They do nice, right? Should I put it a little longer?
I think this side needs a little bit.
What, the top?
Yeah, just oh, you hold it up?
Well, this way I don't kill the crust. You see how I don't want too much char on the crust, right? So I'll just put it up there.
You know everything, Tom.
I'm learning. You know, there's a place. Oh, it's not near you. You're up north. There's a place in Little Falls called Aquila something, and he does. I've been there once. It's amazing. I mean, you know, I really like. So we're good. He does only like.
Can I have a little?
Of course. What?
The olive oil?
The what?
The olive oil?
Of course.
Good dipping. I have to tell you what sacrilege I have with
you know what?
Pizza.
I'll get another olive oil out here, because that looks like it's. What's your sacrilege?
Well, when I grew up, I don't know who started it, but my family always puts butter on the crust.
On the crust? Okay.
And
I'm going to get you.
I saw your video on pizza making.
What's that?
I saw your video.
You saw my video? I'm going to get the ice, and I'm going to get a nicer olive oil for you, since that's your thing. I'll be right back.
Not as thin as the other, but looks good.
Here, let's try this one. And then,
so my kids anybody who ever ate pizza with us now puts butter on their pizza.
Butter on the. You want some butter?
No,
I get it.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I gotta be honest. I can't tell the difference between crust. Can you?
No, not between the crust, but Must be because it's colder. The other one was much more thinner and flexible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this one is
Well,
got some body to it.
This is the experiment.
Hmm.
It's like the other one better.
I do.
Okay. This was the experiment.
So, why we got into the restaurant business? Do you want to know that?
I do want to know that. I have 1,000 questions for you that I haven't asked yet. So, but go ahead. So why did you said you did it right after Thanksgiving.
Well, that's the restaurant opened. Well, we opened it because we were both single, and we both developed. We both liked. I'm a little bit more picky than he is, but um, we both liked our food. You know, like
Oh, it's already open.
when I lived alone, I would always make a dinner for myself.
Sure.
You know, I wouldn't buy a sandwich or go to a fast food place or anything. I'd make pork chops, roast beef, this, that, you know, and it was good because being single, you know, I would. It was a way for me to meet women.
Uh-huh.
You know, you want to come over to my house
Oh, okay.
for dinner? I made a mean roast duck with apple and sausage
Nice.
stuffing and gravy and mashed potatoes. My mother was a gravy master, and so our roast beef gravy was second to none. Our pork gravy was second to none. Our turkey gravy was second to none. And still, and my kids know how to make gravy.
Gravy's
So,
important.
gravy is. Well, we had, at the time, you know, we would talk about opening a restaurant, what we would like to do. And our first idea was to, well, when he was in the Air Force, he was going to open up a prime rib restaurant with what do they call it? The English,
Oh,
uh, with the
Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire pudding. So we eventually made that. It was pretty good. But and that didn't work out. And then he was going to
I'm listening.
well, we were going to open up a restaurant where we'd make something different every day, you know, but just one thing. And if you wanted to come, we'd tell you what the 7 things we were going to make that week.
Oh, nice.
Well,
That sounds like fun, right?
that sounded like fun, but we eventually thought, well, we're not going to do that. That wouldn't work out. But we would go out to eat a lot together. And it was always, you know, there were things that we didn't like about other restaurants. For example, you get a salad at another restaurant, and they put the salad on a small plate, and they give you dressing on the side. So now, what do you do with the dressing?
How
do you get it? How do you get it
Right.
mixed with, without all the salad falling off the plate? So we said, if we open a restaurant, we're gonna mix every salad. We mixed every salad.
Your salads were great.
So we mixed
You had
every
the Asian dressing, and there was another one I liked.
the basil. We had blue cheese. The Asian was our Oriental dressing. We had tofu dressing. Then we had Caesar dressing. That I think is it. So when it came, the third store opened up, and so we said, let's rent it and do a restaurant, because it wasn't a restaurant, so we had to build a restaurant. So we opened it up, and we always wanted, because of the health food stores, we would make stuff out of the restaurant, out of the health food store, into different things. Like if your vegetables are going bad, you take them home and you make things out of them.
Right.
So we were pretty popular with the health food store, and we would have always made things from scratch. But it was more important once we decided to open a health-related restaurant, because we would have a built-in base of business right away from the health food store.
That makes sense.
So that was a smart move. All the years later, people would say, how did you figure out that was going to be the next trend?
Uh-huh.
It had nothing to do with that.
Right.
It was just that there was business there, and we wanted to get the business.
Gotcha.
So we didn't serve beef, pork, or lamb, because the beef that was unadulterated was, you could cook that stuff for all day long and it wouldn't get tender. No.
So there was no such thing as grass-fed beef back then?
There was grass-fed, but they wasn't raised like they raise them now. They grass-fed them, and they were very, very lean. No fat in the meat at all.
That's no good, yeah. Not like the Japanese.
The taste is in the fat. And I tell you, I eat more fat than 90% of the 95% of the population. So we opened up a health-related restaurant. We served beef, pork, we served chicken, shrimp, and filet in the first restaurant.
Are you getting cold? Want a jacket?
Sure.
So
Thank you.
What was your favorite dish?
I had a couple. My all-time favorite was cheese enchiladas.
The cheese enchiladas, okay.
I loved those cheese enchiladas. And they didn't love me. Because I used to get intestinal distress from the cheese enchiladas. But every month, I had to have them.
Okay.
whether or not I knew it was going to happen. I don't know what it was in the sauce or whatever it was, but
That smoke's not going to go away until I do something about it.
okay. Do you have any money in here, or something?
You know, I do the put the lottery tickets in here that don't win.
Oh,
That's like very expensive kindling. There we go.
what
Cheese
caused that?
enchiladas. What would you say? And what was your second
I
favorite?
I make the cheese enchiladas at home. Now,
Did they make you sick? Even the ones that make it home?
no, they don't.
So what was different?
Maybe some of the spices that we put in the sauce, but we never kept those recipes, and I don't remember exactly how we made them.
Gotcha.
If, by the way, if anybody wants to have the recipes for Park and Orchard that I do have, I would be more than happy to email them to you. All you have to do is email your email address to
To me?
you, to me, if you want.
I could put your email on the post. You know that it's funny that you said that, because I have to be honest. Well, when you're done with that, you can. I always wanted to ask you about a couple of recipes, and then I said, you know what, that would be rude. I felt like it would be rude to ask you, and I actually did. Now, okay, so now here's what I want to do. I want to send you the recipe that I created to try to imitate. Oh, this is crazy. You had a recipe called the LaRuth's crawfish pasta.
Yeah.
Now, my first question is, did you actually go to New Orleans to LaRuth's and get it from them?
We went to New Orleans and we had it. We liked it. And they had published it.
You figured it out? Or
they had published it.
Oh, okay.
We didn't ask them.
See, right, because that would be rude, right?
No, we never mind.
They published it.
Recipes aren't copyrighted.
No, I realize that.
And, people that say, oh, it's a secret. I can see, I once asked a guy who worked for M&M Mars how they put the coating on that thing. And this guy had the nerve to tell me it's a secret thing. Now, there are so many candies out there that have a candy coating on it that obviously it's no secret. Do you freeze the chocolate and dip them? But how does it go all the way around without loading on one spot and nothing on another spot?
So I said to my wife, when you guys close, I said, I'm going to figure out how to make that.
Tommy, we look at it.
Hold on. Because now what I'd rather do is I'd rather show you what I did, and then you tell me pretty close or way the fuck off. Okay. But I will tell you this. When I made it, halfway through, I was like, yeah, this is nothing like it. And then after I added the cheese, I added Parmigiano Reggiano. And once I added...
Romano.
Oh, you used Romano. I used Parmigiano Reggiano. Okay.
I like Parmigiano Reggiano too. But in that dish, it gets Romano.
It gets Romano, okay. But I use Parmigiano. And I have to say, after I added the cheese, I was like, holy shit, it took on a whole new
it
character.
Thickens the sauce. Yeah. It thickens it. It's nice. It sticks to the pasta.
So here's what I wound up doing. I went to the Woory Mart and I bought steamed crawfish because I couldn't get raw, right? I emptied the tails out. I then...
Ooh, so that's a lot of work.
Well, I could have bought just the tail meat, right? I could have done that. But then I would have had to make a stock somehow. But they didn't have just the tail meat at the place I went to. So I bought the the whole bodies. I took the tail meat out. I made a stock out of the shells, okay? And then I made like the basis of what you would make an étouffée, and I used the crawfish stock to make like an étouffée beginning, right? With the dark roux and everything. And then I added, then I added cream, and then I added the cheese, and I added tomatoes. And it was fucking amazing.
Oh, good.
Now, it was probably not what you guys did.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it, right? I knew it was going to be nothing like it. Nothing like it. So now, did I do it like mine was too many steps?
Yeah, we never had a stock in there.
No stop.
No stock. We would get crawfish tails, fresh cryovac crawfish tails.
Mhm. Oh, fresh though.
Well, they were never frozen. But if you want to buy good crawfish tails, Wegmans
Okay.
has 1 pound packages in their freezer that are really good.
Okay.
Okay, and just the tails.
Sure.
You know, when you get the tails, they have like a little stuff on the outside.
Right.
You know that when you put it in the cream, it sort of would make you think that you had stock in there.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, but we started with butter, oregano.
Oregano.
A lot of it is oregano.
Okay.
Oregano.
Not the oregano that the
fruit.
kids are smoking these days.
No.
The
No.
real oregano.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oregano.
Fresh oregano or dried oregano?
Dried oregano.
Dried oregano. Okay.
We didn't do much with fresh herbs. Crushed red pepper, capers.
Capers. Okay.
Capers is a big
I
part of
love
it.
capers.
Mm.
I put them in a lot of things.
Yeah, if they're big, you chop them up. If they're not, you just leave them whole. Butter, and you saute that around. Maybe there's one other thing that goes in there.
If you look at the, like, I found an old copy of the menu, and the menu said, butter, cream, tomato, spices.
Mhm.
Right, that's what the menu said, right?
Yeah,
and then you got
that's
to
what it
figure
was.
it out, right? Shit, that's too funny. That's too funny. I'm going to send
so
you what
you-
I did.
So you saute that, and at the same time you're heating up the cream, because you don't want to pour the cold cream into the hot stuff, because
Mhm.
So then you pour the cream in, and you just keep. And use crushed Marzano tomatoes,
San Marzano tomatoes. Okay.
and we would squeeze them.
Hands, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, so out of the can.
Out of the can.
Nice. I use fresh tomatoes in mine. But that's, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I had an idea.
We only, you're in a restaurant, you have to.
I had an idea. Well, no, that's, so it's right. So that's, okay. So finish what you were saying, because.
So then you just cook it, and you cook it down about a third.
Okay.
So the cream gets a little, and once you have the sauce, then, well, in the restaurant, what we used to do, we used to make a big pot of sauce.
Right.
And then we would add that, make it hot, and just, after doing all that other stuff, and then put the crawfish in right at the end, because it doesn't take long.
Sure.
You don't want to boil the crawfish.
You don't want to overcook them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll get tough.
So then pour it over the pasta. I still make it's one of my most requested dishes.
My wife, once she had that, that's all she would order. And she just, I want extra sauce, right? And then she has a little bit of lactose intolerance. So she knew that she was going to be in the bathroom all night. It didn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Just like the enchiladas, it doesn't matter. I love that.
Oh my God. So, but and for me, that was like the star of the show, crawfish pasta. But I like Mark's Southwest Fire Chicken.
I do too.
I enjoyed that very much.
You can make it with fire steak, fire shrimp, whatever fire.
It was just Chipotle, right? Was it canned Chipotles or was it?
Here's chipotle. It's balsamic vinegar in the sauce. Chipotle's the crushed chipotle.
Mhm.
Smoked
Yeah.
chipotle. The we used to dust the chicken or the steak or anything with Paul Prudhomme's blackening
Okay.
seasoning.
I remember it had a kick. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and then one of your coworkers, one of your waitresses said, I like to have the Mark Southwest Fire Chicken, but instead of rice, get a side of mashed. And the mashed potatoes
I never had
actually
that.
eased the blow a little bit because it was pretty spicy.
Yeah. I like the carrots in there.
Yeah, and the celery.
Yeah.
Right. It was carrots and celery.
And because the
You still make
carrots I make it at home all the time. I love it.
And then the other one I loved was
But my
ants on a
wife
tree.
doesn't like the heat, so I take it out before I end up splitting it. I make it in a wok, and I split it between two woks and just put a little sauce in hers and
Right.
put a lot in mine.
Gotcha.
So
I used to love ants on the tree.
we have the recipe there, but it wasn't one of my favorites.
It was one of your favorites?
I used to eat it sometimes.
I liked it. It was different. Like
I never ate the Cajun meatloaf, the vegetarian meatloaf.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had that.
You're lucky.
I had the crawfish enchiladas. I wasn't crazy about it. I
love them.
I like the crawfish pasta better.
Oh, I like the crawfish enchiladas. There was a lot of cheese in there, but I don't have the recipe for that. I remember sort of what to do, but most of the time towards the end, as in business, when we first started, the paperwork maybe took up 15 minutes a day. Towards the end, it took 5 hours a day.
Yeah. Sure.
Just more and more regulations, more and more reporting, more and more stuff to do that had nothing to do with running a restaurant.
So running a restaurant, right? So you had to know, like how much of whatever to purchase.
No.
But so how did you do your purchasing?
Well, we used to know how much we used all the time. And Buddy and I used to do the ordering. So we would know, for example, if somebody was pilfering shrimp from us or anything like that, or something unusual would happen. But we didn't have any safeguards. We never counted anything. We never, if we figure out people like to work, okay, and we had we had the same crew for years.
Yeah. You had a tight crew.
We still had our first employee when we finished.
Who was that?
That was John Kirby, and he was a stir fryer.
Okay. But you had Craig from start to finish, didn't you?
No, Craig was 25 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
He came from Lons.
Okay. Oh, he was at Lons. Okay.
Yeah. And he's up at the Brick House in Whitecourt now.
I've never been there.
It's
a nice place, Brick House?
Yeah, it's a pretty nice
What kind of place is it?
It's like an Italian restaurant.
Okay. I haven't seen him since he lives right here in Hasbrook Heights. But I haven't seen him since,
Yeah. No, he's doing good.
Good. I'm glad. He's a nice guy.
And he's still a host there. And he got the job because I knew Aldo, his boss.
Aldo. My neighbor's name is Aldo, and he owns a restaurant.
No, not your neighbor though. Aldo lives up there.
Okay.
Aldo Castillo.
You know who this Aldo is?
No.
This Aldo, the across the street, 2 doors down, big white house. He owns a restaurant in Wayne.
Oh.
Name is Aldo. I don't remember the name of the restaurant though.
Oh, if it's Aldo's, I think there was a restaurant I used to go in Wayne named Aldo's.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
I've never been.
You know, we would, people like to work, and our kitchen people like to do what they do. And if you have them counting things when they come in, checking off things when they're, you know, taking them away from doing their jobs,
Right.
the amount of time spent checking things in, checking things out, adding up what you have, inventory, it's not worth, they can't steal that much.
Right. Right. Right.
It's impossible. It's just it gets to be a pride thing, no longer a money saving thing.
Right. 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 Sure.
You know, and it makes your staff. You know, we would go through once in a while and say, you know, there's been, what happened to all the pecan pies we had? You know, we didn't sell
You
it
made
many.
your own?
Yeah, we made our own pecan pie.
I make a pretty good pecan pie.
Ours were good. Well, next time, you know what to make.
Well, I made this because
I like that.
I could have made the. Well, you haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure you're gonna like it.
You know, I didn't eat blueberries for years because my parents had a blueberry tree in the back, and it's the worst thing in the world in the summertime to pick blueberries because you're in a tree and there's bugs and it's hot. So I stopped picking blueberries and I said, I don't want to pick blueberries anymore. So
I'm laughing because I planted a blueberry bush there and there, and they haven't grown. And it's because I don't think there's enough.
Big blueberries.
There's not enough acid in the soil. So I don't know what I did wrong.
But I said, I'm not going to pick blueberries anymore. I'm never going to eat another blueberry. And for years, I refused to eat blueberries.
You don't have to have that if you don't want it.
Oh no, I'll
no,
eat
because
it.
I have another dessert there.
Oh no, I'll eat it.
I have. Let me show you what I got here. So I made these chocolate chip cookies the other day.
Oh.
They were in the freezer. So we're going to throw these in after the last pizza. Well, I can only do 2 at a time because they spread too much and they'll crowd. But those chocolate chip cookies are amazing.
Okay.
I'm going to do that white pie. But keep talking.
But I'll go over.
Oh, you got to try this. I think you're going to like the first one better, but this is worth a try.
I'm a Basil Hayden guy.
You know, I don't know if I've ever had basil. I've had, I like Blanton's, and I like Angel's Envy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever had basil.
So what's in your white pie?
What's in what?
In the white pie.
So it's going to be, I let this thing grow out of control, so that's why it's just not, it's going to be misshapen.
That's okay.
But
I'm not a real traditional kind of guy.
The white pie is going to have a cheese blend, and then mozzarella, and then Parmigiano Reggiano, and then a couple of dollops of ricotta lined with some of those caramelized onions. Now, those are not any old caramelized onions.
No, I didn't think so.
With a little port.
That's a big pie.
It'll be fine. But, you know, it's like, I can't, it's because of you see how it got dry?
Yeah.
It stuck out of it's okay. We'll be fine. All right, so let's start with this. A little bit of this. This is just a cheese blend. It's provolone and whatever. Just put a little bit of that down. Maybe a little bit more. All right. And then we're going to hit it with the fresh mutts. Yeah, me too. It's been a bad... It's funny when you emailed me. I was in Michigan. I'd never been to Michigan before. My wife was like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Florida," but then the hurricanes were happening. She's like, "Well, I've never been to Michigan, so let's go check that out." We had a good time up there.
Yeah.
We drove the whole state. I mean, the whole state. So it was a lot of driving, but it was good. It was a good trip. All right, a little bit of olive oil. How'd you like that other olive oil? You like it better? Same.
Good.
It's the same.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
I don't. I think they lie to us. It's all the same shit, right? All right. Parmigiano Reggiano. You know what I do with these? I'll take some of this and throw it on some parchment paper and stick it in the oven and make little crisps out of it. Oh, so good. And Lola goes crazy for that shit. All right. Now, I'm not good at making dollops, but we're going to try to make a few dollops of this. I saw this. I've never been there, but I'm going to go. There's a place in Brooklyn called Best Pizza. And actually, the guy who owns that place, he's a very, he's a likable character on YouTube, you know? And I definitely want to go there and try that place. And I got to go to DeFara's. I've never been to DeFara's.
Where is that?
In Brooklyn also.
Oh.
These are like, the...
My daughter lived in Brooklyn. And
the best of the best of the best pizzas, apparently. All right.
And so that was too long a drive for me to go there and to come back.
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's rough. And a little speck. And I think I'm just going to do it like this. Oh, it's sticking to my fingers. It's sticking to me. It's sticking to me. All right.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to stretch it. Into the oven it goes.
How come there was smoke coming out? What happened to it?
Smoke?
Yeah, when the smoke was coming out.
Oh, because I put a new log in, but it didn't ignite.
Oh.
So you get that headlamp.
What kind of wood do you use to smoke with?
Well, I just buy whatever's at Lowe's, but so whatever's at the front of the store.
Oh.
But the birch, like I've got some. Here, I'll show you. These are. This is birch. It burns hotter. Oak burns pretty hot, but I don't know what these are. Like this is just firewood that I bought at the store.
Yeah,
but it doesn't say what kind.
Right.
So, but the birch burns pretty hot.
You know what I use?
What do you use?
I use oak, but my friend is
oak in the egg.
In the egg.
Yeah.
But I like the oak.
But wood or charcoal?
And I use charcoal.
Love charcoal, right?
Natural charcoal.
Yeah.
And I get the oak from my friend who's a floor guy. So he has white oak and red oak. You know, it's cut off.
But it's actual wood. It's not charcoal.
Well,
he turns it into charcoal.
Oh no, I put the wood in there, and that smokes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You know, because I try not to have it, with the flame. And I have a fan that goes.
Oh, you bought one of those fans?
Yeah, and it works great.
My neighbor across the street, after I got my egg, he was like, "Oh, I got to get one." But now he has all the gadgets. He's got the fan and all the Bluetooth shit. So like,
Oh, I don't
so
have the
when I
Bluetooth.
do my pulled pork, 18 hours, I'm blinding you, right? Sorry. He you know, I'm up every hour to come out to make sure the flame didn't go out, right?
Right.
But his, he's got it all set up so like he'll get a text if something goes wrong,
Mhm.
you know. But that, to me, that's cheating. That's cheating. You gotta like
Oh
even
no.
this. Like
I watch, I don't get any text or anything. I just watch it, I can go around, well, with my brisket,
uh-huh,
I go around 9 hours
uh-huh,
and then I wrap it.
uh-huh. Oh, then you wrap it. Okay.
Because I do it like Franklin barbecue.
Okay. I don't know what they do, but
Franklin is in Austin, Texas.
okay.
And he's supposedly is the barbecue guy. He's written a lot of books. He's always on the food shows and
Uh-huh.
everything. And when I was in Austin, we went there we were leaving, and I wanted to get a brisket to take home.
Uh-huh.
And we got there at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay? It was raining.
Uh-huh.
And the line was already
Uh-huh.
2 blocks long to go in there.
I was only in Austin once. I had to go there on business, and I didn't really get to go to any places. But at the airport there was Salt Lick,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh yeah,
I wound up getting their brisket.
Good.
It was pretty good brisket, so I bought their rub, and it's good. I use that here.
Yeah,
the Salt Lick rub.
I made my own rub. I like. I'm not
you got to do the pastrami.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How'd you do that?
So, well, first you got to cure it, right? So it sits in a brine for like 10 days, and you use salt, but you also use the Prague powder. It's a salt, it's a saltpeter kind of thing. And then after 10 days of that, then you desalinate, like just rinse it with distilled water just to get some of the salt off. And then you put the pastrami rub on, which is pretty much black pepper and coriander, and then other shit, but mostly black pepper and coriander. And you let that sit for a couple of days, and then you smoke it the way you smoke a brisket, right?
For that long?
Yeah. But what you want to make sure is the internal temperature hits over 200, because then you'll get there's two schools of thought on pastrami, right? There's people that use the deli slicer, in which case it's a more firm meat, or like Katz's, where you cut it and it falls apart, right? Yeah. So if you want it like Katz's, you got to get it over 200, right? So what I do is I'll smoke it, and then if it doesn't reach the temperature I need, I'll steam it the rest of the way. Comes out awesome. I think we're looking good, huh? What do you think? Let's look at the bottom.
Pretty good.
Right? The bottom looks good.
Yeah.
White pie.
Yeah, we used to go to Katz's all the time.
I love Katz's.
We used to have to go to the Bowery all the time. The restaurant supply.
Oh, okay. Oh, sure.
Right there.
I only bought one thing there. I bought a big stock pot that doesn't fit on my stove in this house, because I got the microwave on top of the stove. But just want to make sure the cheese melts good, and then we'll do the cookies. Yeah, that's right. The Bowery.
It's almost all gone.
Well, now you got Restaurant Depot.
Yeah,
it's not as good.
Not anywhere near as good.
I think we're good. What do you think?
Looks good to me. I got to get a hot piece this time.
What did I do with the cutter? I keep misplacing the cutter.
Oh,
here it is.
Don't ask me. I misplace everything.
So So you just decided to open a restaurant and you did it.
And we did it.
That's wild.
And since we never worked in a kitchen, we didn't know a lot of things. And since we never had a restaurant before, we it was, first of all, when we made up our menu the first time,
Uh-huh.
well, since we never had a restaurant, we didn't know how people ordered, but we put a lot of things to make it look like we had a lot on the menu,
Okay.
but we didn't have anything, we didn't think anybody was going to order that. Well, the first person that came in
Ordered.
on the first day ordered one of those things.
Gotcha.
And how do you tell the first person who's
Oh, we
ever
don't
in a
have that?
restaurant? We ran out.
Oh my God. That's funny.
So we had to run to the, I like it. We had to run to the health food store, get the stuff, get some stuff, but it was an Indian stir fry.
Oh.
Okay. Second thing, we kept on throwing more vegetables in a wok and saying, "You think that's enough?" No, I think that's not enough.
Oh my God.
And we served it, and of course the guy said he wanted to take the rest home because it was like this big on a plate.
Uh-huh.
So we were at the restaurant supply, and we saw these things called doggy bags.
Uh-huh.
So we bought these doggy bags,
Uh-huh.
figuring that that's what you put leftovers in. So they were cellophane bags.
Oh,
And
so
we figured
melted.
they were cellophane because the cellophane would be waterproof. Oh. So we shoved this stuff right into the cellophane bag. And he's walking out of the restaurant carrying these things. Now, there was only one door in the front, and it was a regular sized door, you know? The bag broke right in the middle of the front door. On the, so now, we don't have anybody to say, go out and clean that, because it's just me and Buddy. So to go out and clean that up. In the meantime, the guy wants his stir fry. So we had to make him another stir
Oh
fry.
my God.
So I think we did 48 people. Because there were a lot of people waiting because there's a health food store, waiting for us to open.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good deal.
It took us all night. So we got in there early the next morning and we prepped. Because now it's Saturday night. And we prepped. And we prepped. We were ready for them. 4 people showed up.
Wow.
So that's the start of our restaurant story.
So, you know, when you got into it though, how much
People never order what you think they're going to order.
how much capital did you need to have? Like, did you need a month or 2 months of expenses on hand, or Like, what was your rule of
You
thumb?
need
on it?
enough money to get through the first year.
So for the whole first year.
Mm-hmm. So now you have to remember I had a full-time job.
Oh,
I was a vice president of Fidelity Union Trust Company.
while you run a restaurant?
Hmm.
Holy shit!
And since we never worked in a restaurant, we never knew how to serve, cook in a restaurant. Now, if you remember, when you got the food from us at your table or whatever, it was always too hot to eat. Now, we didn't know you're not supposed to serve that because people have to wait for it to cool down before they can start eating it. But we thought, well, the salads for one, we made each one of those little salads that were free to each table. We made them we made them, we didn't mix up 20 at a time. And
Right.
so when you got your salad, it looked like,
Yeah, it was all wilted, right? You wanted it nice. Yeah, yeah.
she isn't easy to do.
None of it's easy.
No. But I have one of those minds that figures things out. I was very good. My systems in all my offices always worked. Always saved a lot of work. And park&Orchard ran like no other restaurant. If there was something like under the lights,
Uh-huh.
for more than like a minute and a half,
Oh, you mean the heat lamps?
we'd make another one.
Really? The last time I was out here doing this, my wife decided to put these napkins out here, right?
Can I have the small one?
Of course.
That one. One next to it.
But then at some point the napkins blew all over the even this thing, like it's unraveling, right?
Right.
Well, I'm glad you're liking it. All these years you fed me.
Hey, I'm appreciative of this.
I'll never forget that. It was my 50th birthday, and my wife wanted to throw a party, and she called you, and you were able to, and we had it there. But I was like, I would have rather she just give me a nice bottle of wine. For the amount of money you spent on a party, I could have got a nice bottle of wine. But it was always a very welcoming.
We were like cheers. Well, you had all the same employees, All the waitresses knew you.
I spent a lot of time at the bar with Trish.
She was a whole bunch of personalities. Yeah. I like Trish.
Then you had all those nice wines by the glass too.
That was old buddy.
What's that?
That was old buddy.
That was old buddy.
He was in charge of the bar. I would have rather taken the money and bought a Ferrari or something. You know, anything with a gasoline motor. You know.
I always thought about, what it'd be like, but I know that there's a certain, there's so like there's the economy of the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
right? What winds up going into the trash, right? But also, it's the economics of the whole place. How many people you need on staff.
Mm-hmm.
How it's complicated. Because you can't do it all. I mean, unless you've got like 4 tables, you can't do it all by yourself.
Right.
Right. So but how many people do you need for? You know what I mean? Like
That just comes. You know.
you figure it out as you go.
Mm-hmm. Get busy. You add more tables. You gotta have. I'll tell you what regular restaurants do. Okay, they do a system called cook and hold. Now, you've been to restaurants where you sat there and you're waiting for your food, and you're wondering why it's not coming out. And you're thinking that the waiter, waitress has forgotten about you. And the food's done inside, and she's just not bringing it to you. Then you get your food. Finally, she runs out with your food because it's finally ready, and it's cold. So now you're sure the waitress ignored the food in the kitchen. It has nothing to do with that. What they do is when your ticket comes in and you have, say, a couple of, like a piece of salmon, a steak, they call it all out.
Mm-hmm.
And they start making it then. Now you have appetizers to eat,
Right.
You have salads to eat, and then you have your main course. But your food is being cooked as soon as it goes in the kitchen.
Oh wow.
This is why. Then after it's cooked, they put it in a saute pan and put it someplace a little warm in the kitchen. Over the stoves or on shelves and everything. And now they wait. Now your waitress comes in and says, "Okay, table 5's ready." Well, they also have now, when she comes in to say table 5's ready, they're cooking all the stuff for people that just sat down. Okay, so your food is already cooked, but it's up there and it's not hot. So they take it when they have time. They take it, they put it on the saute pan on the stove, and then they heat it up that way. So if you had a steak, that's the way they heat it up. They don't put it back on the grill. So, but you have all these orders coming in and the same orders going out. So we thought, or I thought, that your food should be cooked and it should come out at the same time. So if you have one dish that takes 20 minutes, one dish that takes 15 minutes, you put the 20-minute on first, the 15-minute on second.
That makes sense.
You would think.
Right.
Okay. And that's the way we did it. The line did not know until your food, your salads went out, what they had. So they couldn't cook it beforehand.
Right.
So they but now your food is cooked, but since they're cooking stuff to come that's coming in, they're not paying much attention to your stuff because they're already. So they just toss it over in a saute pan a couple of times, put it up, and now it goes out. So now it's lukewarm,
Uh-huh.
and you think that it's been sitting in the well, it was sitting in the kitchen,
But you
and
think the
it's not
waitress
fresh,
forgot.
and it's not freshly cooked.
Right.
So we used to time everything. We had basically 3 stations. We had the guy, the main guy, who took care of everything that was in the oven and the grill. And then we had a saute person that took care of the pastas and the chicken piccatas, anything that was sauteed. And then we had a stir fryer. So you knew how long each one took. So he would put his stuff in the oven. That usually, the oven stuff used to take about 20 minutes. And then he'd call to the other 2 people and he had to know how much they had so that they couldn't start another. If the stir fry had more than 6 stir fries, he couldn't do anymore. So he had to take that into consideration all the time. And, he'd call to them and they would make it. And then everything comes to a guy that plates the food.
Right. Oh, okay.
So,
Systems.
system. That's all it is.
That's too much.
But I do have to tell you that on Saturday night, when we used to do 600 people on a Saturday night, and that's pumping out a lot of food.
That's a lot of food.
Plus, you could get anything you wanted. If you didn't want peppers in your stir fries, we didn't put peppers in your stir fry. You didn't want whatever. We used
People would ask.
they'd ask for everything. Fried chicken, not hot. Well, I can't do that.
A medium. I wanted a medium. It's called fire. It's called, fire's in the title.
Yeah. What did you think you were going to get? So we used to warn people like, the fried chicken
I got to
is
tell you
very
something.
hot.
Yeah, every place warns you it's spicy, right? And I was like, yeah. Because
Yeah,
usually
no-
it's not. But the first time I had the fire chicken, holy shit.
And we warned you. Yeah, Chinese restaurants, I think, like about 6 months after they open, their hot food isn't hot anymore because everybody sends it back. They like to say, there are a lot of people that like to say that they eat hot food, but we started saying, we're not going to take the fried chicken back if you think it's too hot.
Right.
But I didn't know it was this hot. Well, what do you think it's called? Fried chicken.
The only time I ever had a problem, there's this Thai place up in Northvale. It's a tiny little hole in the wall. Great food. And the woman, she's Thai. So one day, they always have the regular menu, but then they have the special menu, right? And they had this something, I don't know, remember what it was, but it was extra spicy or whatever. I said, I'm going to try that, right? She says, okay, it's very spicy. I said, yeah, I'll try it. Don't worry. And I couldn't finish. Like, I got through half of it, and I was like, I give up. And she looks at me, she says, yeah, don't feel bad. I can't eat that either. Only the men can eat it. I was like, well, I'm not a man. But it was the spiciest food I ever had. The first time I've had Thai food was in Thailand. And that was the spiciest food I've ever had in my life.
Mm.
Oh, my God.
When I was in Thailand, Vietnamese restaurant, I was on an eating tour of the Far East. And we went to Hong Kong, Bangkok, and Singapore.
Oh, nice.
And there was about 20 people on this tour.
Mm-hmm.
And they were eating everything. And, we sit together at certain restaurants. So we went to this restaurant in Thailand. And we went to a cooking class in the Oriental Hotel.
Oh, nice.
Which was a lot of fun. But so we're in this restaurant, and they're serving. They start to serve, and there's this little garnish on the plates. A little pepper. It's about this big.
Uh-huh.
And they said, whatever you do, don't eat the pepper. Okay.
Somebody ate the pepper.
What? What are you going to do? So I was with a friend of mine. He actually ate one. He was no good that night. But so I took the pepper, and this is right when the soup came out. Okay. Now we've been eating a lot, already. And the soup comes out, and I just pick up the pepper, and I just bite off the end.
Uh-huh.
I said, not anything to write home about. It wasn't hot or anything. So I took it again, and I cracked the skin
Uh-huh.
a little bit farther in.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. I was like somebody lit a fire in my mouth.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the soup's sitting in front of me, and I'm cooling my mouth down with this soup. And I'm watching as I'm doing that. It's actually cooling my mouth down. Okay. And I'm watching all these people that ate anything before saying, "Oh, this soup's too hot. I can't eat this."
and it was helping you.
It was helping me. But there were a little pepper. It was about this big.
Oh my God. Oh, I gotta step over there. Hello, lights. I'm gonna put those cookies in.
So
This I could. This recipe is not mine, but whoa. So there's this guy I like to watch on YouTube called the Wood-Fired Oven Chef. He's like James Bond. And
just put one in for me.
what's that?
Just put one.
Oh, I'm gonna do one for you, one for me.
Yeah. Well, one in for me. I don't care about you. If you didn't want one, you want two, put two in for you.
Well, no, two will over occupy the pan. So he does cookies in his wood-fired oven, and it's very cool. So I took his recipe and made his cookies, and I like them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then there happens to be this woman called Claire Saffitz. She's a New York Times. I guess she's on the New York Times payroll. I don't know. And she calls herself the dessert person.
Mm-hmm.
And her recipe looks exactly like Clive's, right? So, I mean, how many different recipes could there be, right? But he uses 70% cocoa for the chocolate, but she does, with hers, she cuts it in half. So she does half milk and half dark. And those actually came out nicer.
Mm-hmm. So
that's what I did. I did her rendition. But
what do you do, Tom?
I'm a software. Well, so I write software for an electronics company. My title is software engineer, but I'm not actually an engineer, right? So, but I write software. So I work for them full time. I write software, but then I have my own business where I write software and I sell that privately. But I don't make enough sales where I could quit my day job. But now I work from home because of COVID, and I'm permanently home. So I don't have to drive 2 hours every day, an hour up, an hour back. So I have all this extra time, right? But I've always loved to cook. But I knew for sure that I wasn't, if I had to put in 14-hour days every day, I'd wind up hating it, right? I think. But I love doing it like this. It's just, it's fun for me. Like I have Thanksgiving here, you know, that kind of thing. But that's my thing. And then I started doing comedy, which I'm having a lot of fun with.
Hmm.
So
When in a restaurant, you know, you get like we did a whole bunch of when we first started. We had a whole bunch of recipes that we did, and some of them were mine, some were buddies, and when you go around and ask people, there's people that will tell you what you learn is everything's a matter of taste.
of course.
Whether I like something, like when we go out to eat a lot with other people, or when we go over. God forbid I should go to a house and expect dinner there, because they're afraid to cook for me.
Uh-huh.
But
Why? Because
I don't know,
because they think you're going to be overly critical, or
because they want to make sure I'm pleased.
well,
But
that was
but
my
that
goal. That was my goal.
no, but
That was
it has nothing to do with that. Because I'm just one person and I have one opinion. Now, my opinion is not any better than yours on anything, because you have your opinion about what you cook. And as long as you like what you cook for you, I mean, if you didn't like it, or you just would, I mean, there are people that would eat anything. My brother in law, you could put anything in front of him, his plate would be clean. He eats everything.
well.
Do you like that? Okay.
So
I mean, you're
I make
eating
some things for my
I
wife
don't,
that I don't like,
yeah, well, I do too
but
now for my wife.
but because she likes it, I make it for her.
Yeah. But, my opinion on food has to do with, I mean, there's so many influences with you that you have. Because I own a restaurant, albeit a successful restaurant, doesn't make my opinion any better, because there were a lot of people that came in, ate my recipes,
But
and said,
you could say you had the finger on the pulse of a lot of people. You could say that.
no, you serve people that you sell. In a
Okay.
restaurant, you have to sell the food.
Right.
Okay? If you're not selling the food, no, like when we were coming up, there was this restaurant that I was reading about that opened in Connecticut. It was a food for women that were, I forget, they had a political and sociological reason for their food,
Oh,
that they wanted to, you know,
I'm going to get us some different plates.
and they went out of business because nobody liked the food. But they've served it. They continue to serve it because this was their mission.
Uh-huh.
Well, in
So it's
Park
an
and Orchard,
ideological thing, right?
ideological thing. In Park and Orchard, the mission was to make money. That's why we went into business. The mission was to make money.
Right, but how did you know
We
what
didn't.
people were going to like? Or
We didn't.
it
But
evolved.
you tailor it. As you go, you talk to people. We always were in a restaurant talking to people. We people would tell you we were always outside, and you can tell whether people are just trying to get rid of you when you say, "How did you like your dinner?"
Uh-huh.
There were ways to tell, whether these people actually like their dinner or not. You go up to a table of four, and you ask them whether they liked their dinner. There's three people sitting there and eating like this. Of course, they know that the fourth person is going to start saying, well, you should do this. This wasn't any good. This was, they're complaining about their dinner. They complain about their dinner everywhere they go. The other people, they don't want to hear anymore. She's Jim's wife. They have to go out with her, or else they wouldn't go out. So they're eating it. Oh yeah, it was great. You know. So you know, this person complains all the time wherever she goes.
Oh my God, that's too fucking funny. Oh.
So they but you're in business to make money. That's why you go into business. People use it other times, you know, you meet people that own a restaurant. They went to culinary school, they went to this, they went to that, and they're talking to me, and they said, you know, they know that I own a restaurant, and then I got my food costs down to 31% this week.
You
And
got your what?
my food costs down to 31% this week.
Food costs. Got it. Okay.
And my labor cost is right on 35%. You know, it's almost perfect. And they would invariably then, I would just listen to them. And they would invariably ask me, and what's your food cost?
Uh-huh.
And I would say, which was the honest thing, I'm sorry, I've been in business for 20 years now. I've never bothered to figure out my food costs. At the end of the week, if I have money left over, that's mine. And that's what I care about.
Uh-huh.
You know? That's
Right.
basically.
Right, but I mean, so there's a school of thought, right? There's a school of thought on, like, take Taco Bell, right? What do they have? 5 ingredients. And they make like 37 products out of those 5 ingredients.
We did
right?
too.
So, you know, it's a matter of, you know, you worry, you don't want to have too big of a menu because with too many varied ingredients, because now you have to have all this extra inventory that you may or may not sell, right?
I preach on being able to throw away food when it's no good. And we would. But we hardly did any of that.
Because you had the traffic.
We had traffic, and we would if you looked at our menu, there were ingredients, the main ingredients that would go bad were the chicken, the shrimp,
Right, pasta's not going well.
Pasta's not going bad. Tomatoes aren't going bad.
Dry pasta or fresh pasta, or do you make your own pasta?
No, we bought dry pasta.
Dry pasta.
Yeah, we never bought fresh pasta or made fresh pasta.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's not going bad.
I don't particularly like it. I'm
fresh
used
pasta?
to. Yeah, I like dry pasta myself.
Okay. Yeah,
it's what you grow up on.
Yeah.
You know, it's what, there's something that you ate when you were a kid that was particular to your family.
Right.
And nobody else would even think about eating this stuff.
So what about
my family?
What about your salads?
My family would. We had deliveries every day.
I think I'm shutting it off and it's not going off.
We had deliveries every day. Salad.
Okay.
Vegetable guy would come every day.
Gotcha.
And you didn't sell that much salad last night. You don't order that much today.
Gotcha.
Salad doesn't go bad. We don't.
It lasts a few days. Sure.
On a Tuesday we cut 2 pans. On a Friday we cut 5 pans. If we needed more, there were always people in the back, prep people. I need another pan of salad. They'd cut it up.
Got it.
But in the daytime, it was the salad guy's job to cut that salad. But if we didn't cut enough, then you had somebody in the back. We always had people in the back. But my family fried liverwurst in butter.
Okay, I never did that.
Okay,
but I like liverwurst with bacon and onion on a rye. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'd love fried liverwurst on
But
just,
I never tried frying liverwurst in butter.
and
It's
then you
good.
take the butter and you pour it on.
Fuck, I gotta try that. I gotta try.
But I'm very particular about my liverwurst, and I haven't been able to find.
Oh, there's a brand that you like?
I went through how many brands, and just when the last brand was in the market basket in Frank Lakes, there's a Tatsy little store that made all their own liverwurst. They make a lot of their own stuff, but somebody got the
I
recipe,
remember the market basket. Yeah.
and well, I used to live right by there,
Uh-huh.
so. And finally, it was a liverwurst that I liked. Um, and I'm not going to eat any just plain old liverwurst,
Really?
you know?
See, that's it, because I would just go to Stop and Shop and buy whatever,
Liverwurst.
liverwurst. If it's Boar's Head or Thuman's or
Oh,
something.
no, I wouldn't do it. I tried Boar's Head, I tried Thuman. It's not the taste that I
Or
like.
Hansel and Gretel's gone, right? They don't make that anymore.
I used to,
Remember there was a Hansel and Gretel?
there was Merkel's when I was
I don't
growing
think I
up.
ever had that.
Well, that was only a, a, um, a meat butcher's shop that they had a lot of them, but not like today. Maybe a lot of them they had back then was 4 or 5.
Okay.
And when I grew up, that's the liverwurst that we had,
Huh.
you know. And then after that, I couldn't find liverwurst that I liked. I tried. I still try. Every time I see a different liverwurst, I try.
Okay.
But
So your favorite now is which?
I don't have a favorite.
Oh, because
I
the
can't find
marketplace is gone.
The marketplace, somebody fucked up with the recipe because it's gooey. First of
You
all,
should
it's
have gotten
gooey.
the recipe. God damn it, Ken. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
There was one when we first had the restaurant that I found here because one of my first waitresses' husbands worked there, and she brought me a Liberty Provisions liverwurst, and this stuff was just right on.
Okay.
They burnt
Liberty
down.
Provision, and they're gone.
They burnt down
Okay.
about 3 years after I found it. So it took me another 5 years to get another one. Then I moved up to Franklin Lakes, and then I finally found the market basket liverwurst we could. Then they changed, and every time I still go back to the market basket because I like their chicken, I like their pork.
Have you ever tried Dietz and Watson?
I did.
I've never had their liverwurst, but in order for me to get Dietz and Watson in the past, I had to go to Pennsylvania. But now there's a new place here called
It's in
Food
ShopRite.
Bazaar. I never saw a Dietz and Watson in ShopRite,
I'm pretty sure they have
but Food Bazaar has it.
Food Bazaar. Where's that?
Well, it used to be a Stop and Shop over here in Carlstadt.
Yeah.
Now it's Food Bazaar.
Oh.
They've got everything there. They've got, well, they don't have everything. They're missing some things. But I could buy rabbit there. Like it's Corrado's.
Mm-hmm.
I could buy rabbit. I could buy.
Corrado's is closed.
Are they closed?
And well, they closed in Wayne.
No, but what about Clifton? Clifton's still there,
I'm
right?
not sure.
Huh.
We used to get produce from Clifton when we couldn't get it anyplace else. We had our first priority, second priority.
Sure.
We'd go down a list because, you have dishes that get onions if nobody's got onions. But we used to pay all our bills. We were very good with paying our bill. So usually if there was no onions in the market, we were the ones that got onions. I like the other one better.
Which?
The others.
The other bourbon. Yeah, I knew that you would.
Basil Hayden is very smooth, I think.
Those cookies are just about ready to come out. We're going to get rid of this.
What I'll take is my, if you can run upstairs and get me my Ginger ale?
Of course. There's only a little bit left of this one, but you should try this one. Oh, I need, this has to come out. Yep, those cookies are done. That one's nice. The peg leg pork is still the best, but you'll like that one. Why is it barking, Lola? I'm just pulling that stuff out because, you know, you could buy Bell meat here locally, but I don't know if you can get that one, the 10-year-old.
It's 20 years old now.
It says 20.
Well, the barrel was started in April 18th, 2006.
I hope you like it. The last time, so my wife didn't know I was doing these podcasts, right? She was away in Vegas on a business trip. So I was able to do like 4 of them without her even knowing. And so I made a key lime pie and a pecan pie. And here's what I discovered. The conservative folks that came over liked the pecan pie. And the liberal folks that came over liked the key lime pie. It just happened to be that way. Now, I don't know if there's a thing to that. But I didn't want to keep making the same stuff over and over.
Right.
This is pretty simple.
Very good.
It's just like a kind of sweet pastry crust. Pastry cream on the bottom. Blueberries, a little cornstarch, a little sugar.
And you made your own great pastry cream taste like.
Yeah.
Nice.
Of course.
I make a lot of apple crumb things. I like crumbs.
Oh, yeah.
And I make great crumb.
Check that out.
Look at them.
So I said I can only do 2. I can bake 2 more for my wife.
Seems to have gotten warmer. Maybe the wind stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, it got cold for a little bit, right? All right. Well, I mean, this is the thing, this whole podcast thing, but I'm going to have you over for pastrami with no podcast.
Okay. And where do you get your rye bread?
Oh, I just buy it at the store.
Uh,
Where do you get your rye bread?
Colonia Bakery in Passaic.
Oh, yeah?
I even went there Monday. I get it and I freeze it. And I used to go to Bannis Bakery, but they sold their place, and
Where's that?
that was in Wellington. But I came down on Monday all the way because I'm out of rye bread. And I buy 2 or 3 and throw them in the freezer. And they were closed. I said, on my way down, I said, I should have looked in the, for their website to see whether they're open on a Monday.
I don't know much about the neighborhood there, but one of my wife's coworkers told her about this Hispanic place in Passaic. I forgot the name of the market, but she told her to get certain different things.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the tripe at this one place, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really a tripe person,
Mm-hmm. Never mind. What Asian is your wife?
Filipino.
My doctor, Dr. Rodriguez, Filipino.
Oh, there you go.
And he brought the New York Times into the restaurant for me. And she liked it. And she would come and eat other times when she wasn't reviewing. Interesting.
So when the critics come in, I
The real
gathered
critics,
from what you said before, they don't pay, they do pay.
no, they pay. And then afterwards they'll tell you, sometimes they tell you, sometimes you didn't know. They didn't talk to you or anything. But most of the time they'll tell you who they are. After they paid, they want to know, they have to know some color for their reviews. So, but Gary Noel was a prostitute, you know? I mean, really,
I gotta look this guy up.
you want, and when you listen to him on the radio, he's like, one of these people that you have to do it his way, or it's not. I mean, you talk to the people that went to his farm, and they had, it's not like he was teaching them how to organic farm or, whatever. He was just doing paint work and, I mean, shit that he didn't want to pay anybody for. And these people were stupid enough to go up there.
I remember.
But when he talked to me about that lady that had cancer, I said, oh.
That's crazy. I put those two close together. They're gonna touch. You live and learn.
So what kind of software do you write? What's the software for?
For the company I work for, or for me?
For you.
So I have a few products. The one that sells the most is this barcode tracking software. So like most of my customers are accounting firms, law firms, and they've got files and they don't know who has the file. So they put a barcode on it, and then they scan it, and then whoever has it, they'll check it out to themselves, or they'll scan it into a location. And that's the one that I've been selling the most of. Yeah. I got a few others that I don't get much traction on, but I built them because it looked like there might have been a need, and then nothing happened. So.
So I designed a system, a suspense system, what we call it suspense. And on an insurance company, you have files all the time, and people take them out and in.
Mhm.
And so what we did, we color coded things
Mhm.
so that when a thing was out, you put a certain color in, it means that it's out.
Uh-huh.
And it's out on, in the first week. A different color goes in. You pull all those at the end of the first week, and you find out what's still missing. And just all different colors and things, and it worked good. But before computers.
Sure. Now everything is.
Of course, the last one I probably designed was 1977,
77.
78, no.
I was
I worked till
not yet in high school. I remember, oh my God, there was a nightclub in the town I lived in Palisades Park, called the Soap Factory.
Oh yeah, I used to go there.
Well,
When
but
it first opened, not when you were there.
Sundays, it was open for teenagers. And
I used to live right by there
Oh,
in
did
Pal
you?
Park.
I lived in Pal Park. You lived in Pal Park too?
One time, twice.
I lived up top of the hill on Morningside Lane.
I lived on Homestead,
Oh, okay.
19 West Homestead.
Homestead
Was off.
intersected. It went up and down the hill.
No, I don't think it went up. It was between, what's that, Broad Avenue?
Mhm.
And
Grand.
Grand.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but it went all the way. It went all the way up.
I don't think
Well, it
so.
broke, and then because it was those streets that curved this way. There was Route 5, but Homestead. No. There was a Homestead that crossed.
It didn't cross Broad.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I guess maybe it did, because it was West Homestead.
Yeah.
And that would have been
and then it
West.
was East Homestead, right?
Yeah, we were 19.
But then it broke because there were some streets that didn't go all the way through.
I lived there, and my first apartment wasn't on Homestead. When I moved out after I graduated college, Where'd
you go?
It's a part of St. John's.
Okay.
It was a work-study part, and you worked for 4 months, and you went to school for 4 months. You worked 4 months. You got a Bachelor of Business Administration when you finished.
Nice.
But
they're touching. Damn it! I hate it when they touch.
I'll have another little piece of your blueberries, though.
Say it again?
I said I'll have another little piece of your blueberries.
Oh, okay. No shit. I thought you didn't want blueberries anymore. You want an end piece or a middle piece?
Middle. I'm a middle guy. Most.
Yeah, my wife's not a big fan of the blueberry.
No.
This one. She likes the pecan pie.
Ah.
She likes, and she doesn't like my key lime pie either. She said it was too tart, which
Which pie?
the key lime.
Oh. Yeah, well, that can be tart. Could be also too sweet. You know.
Yeah.
So, any more questions for tonight? We'll have to go to part 2.
I know I had more questions, and now I can't think of what the hell. I mean, so what advice would you have for some young people that want to open up a restaurant?
Don't be. Well, the first thing is don't be so committed to what you're serving.
What does that mean?
Well, have you been to restaurants where you ask for a salt, pepper shaker, and they say, the chef knows how to season your food?
Got it. Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
And I say, the chef isn't eating the food. I am.
Uh-huh.
And I would like some salt.
Sure.
Well,
Okay.
I hate that. And your employees are the most important thing that you're going to have. And to treat them like human beings. You know, be considerate, be understanding. Don't, you know, I would never yell at no matter what happened, you know, and you have to understand what happens. I would never yell at an employee in the dining room. I would wait till the whole thing was over and explain to him that that's not what we do here. Before when I hire him, I always explain, especially for servers, that there are going to be times that you're going to be complained about. And when you are, I'm going to have to go to the table and talk to them. And sometimes, in my own estimation, for just that one table, I'm going to agree with them. I'm not going to agree with them against you, but I'm going to agree with them because you did it right. They're complaining, and I know that nothing I can say will temper the situation except to say, don't go back to the table, send Susie over to the table and switch tables.
Sure.
You know? But I have to, the customer's always right.
Customer's always right.
You know? I'm trying to build a business here. I want them to come back, even though they're assholes. You know? It's just, you know, that if somebody drops a whole thing of glasses, am I going to go over and yell at them because it was an accident? No. I mean, he just dropped $50, $60 worth of glasses and they all broke. But he didn't take the thing and throw it down on the ground and say, fuck you, I'm not going to. He slipped, it slipped out of his hand. I'm not going to yell at him. You know, I'm not going to make him pay for it. I'm not going to scream at him in front of all the other employees. No, I was always we fired very few people from Park&Orchard. And it always surprised me that after being fired, and you really had to be bad to be fired. Always surprised me that they would come back and sit at the bar Now, if I was fired from a job, I would never go back there.
Uh-huh.
You know?
You had a good bar, though.
Yeah, but they're there to. It just would. And you need employees. You can't do everything.
Right.
So just be mindful that you're there to make money. How many people come to become world famous chefs? Very few. And I've eaten some of their food. The guy that took the first restaurant that we sold to, that was the new Park and Orchard.
I ate there.
Oh, it was terrible. That guy was such an ass. And he wanted the guy that bought the place wanted to serve the pot roast that we had. Our pot roast was wonderful. That was one of my favorites too. So he called me and he said, "Could you have the guy that made the pot roast come in and tell my chef how to make it?" Well, so I did. I called Tim and I said, "Can you come with me down to the restaurant? The guy wants to know how you did the pot roast." So we're standing there. The guy who bought the place, me, my chef, and his chef. And his chef was this guy they bought from New York that probably made more money than my whole kitchen made.
Wow.
So he starts telling him how to make the pot roast. You know what the guy did? He said like this to Tim. He says, "I know how to make pot roast."
Oh.
Okay. The guy didn't even have enough class to stand there and say thanks, you know? Thanks for coming in. I know how to make pot roast. Well, my pot roast, as you probably know, nice, big, thick slices, perfect gravy, of course. My mother was a gravy maker. And
I honestly don't know if I've ever had the pot roast.
oh, it was wonderful.
Well,
Nice,
I'm going to have
big,
to try it
thick
now.
slices.
I'm going to have to try. I'm going to have to try it. God damn it!
Anyway, and mashed potatoes with the gravy and the mashed potatoes, and
yeah,
you know,
the gravy's key.
gravy's key. Their rendition of our pot roast, and their restaurant was called the New Park and Orchard, was mashed potatoes. And you know, when you cut your brisket, there's always those burnt ends that fall off and everything. Well, they made the pot roast so that it fell apart, and they just mixed the pot roast into a bowl that was probably, a little bowl like this, $40 or $35.
Crazy.
And ours was like two big slices of fat encrusted pot roast. I'm just thinking about it.
When I grew up, pot roast in my house was like my mom's pot roast. My mom was a good cook, but pot roast was terrible. It was always dry, and I never understood why pot roast was dry. It's inside a sauce, right?
You cook it too long.
So
it's just cooked too long.
So I never had good experience with pot roast, right? Then I go to Hula Hands, and they have these pot roast sliders. Those pot roast sliders were the freaking bomb. I love those things. And then they took them off the menu. Everything I like, they take it off the menu. I don't know why that happens.
It happens.
But Hula Hands, they had a great pot roast slider. It was amazing.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
It's just, you just gotta treat your customers like you really care.
Right.
Have a good time. You do.
You do care.
It's a great business because like some things with your software, You don't know when you send it out that somebody's going to find something wrong with your software, that it doesn't work in this
Well,
situation.
there'll always be a bug, right?
Always be something.
Yeah.
Right? But you send it out there, and you know you have to wait months or years for that to find those bugs. Sometimes, holy shit, I'm sure it's happened to you. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, and this has been out there for 2 years.
Right.
You know.
Then you fix it. You fix it right
Yeah.
away.
Well, in the restaurant business, you know that day, you know that minute whether you succeeded or not. It's immediate gratification. You don't have to wait.
Right, right.
Nobody's going to tell you 2 years from now that dinner I had, was terrible. I just didn't want to tell you. And then you get once the internet came in, and you got the people that reviewed you,
Oh my God.
and then you look at the reviews, and whether it's a good review or bad review, you look at the number of reviews the guy did.
Yeah.
675.
Sure.
They review everybody.
Yeah.
They review the gas station that they buy
That's right.
gas in.
That's
They review.
See, now, I'm the opposite. I've only written like 5 reviews in my
that's
life.
me.
And only because it was outstanding.
Right. I would never
Otherwise,
write a
I
bad
don't
review.
even. Right. And there's one review I still have to do because I owe this guy, because there's this place in, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it so everybody knows. There's this place in Ocean City, Maryland, right on the main strip called Lizzie's. You been to Lizzie's?
No, I've
You gotta
been
go
to
to
Ocean
Lizzie's.
City.
You like crab?
My daughter lived in Baltimore for years.
Okay. Well,
And-
Ocean City, Maryland, right on the main strip, there's a place called Lizzie's. And they've got great crab cakes. And that's what my wife loves, is the crab cakes. We found a few places in Annapolis that we love the crab cakes. Lizzie's makes crab cakes, but the star of the show, remember how crawfish pasta, star of the show? The star of the show, he has this hot crab sandwich. It's basically just lumps of crab, maybe some herbs, butter on like a awesome bun, but it's friggin' amazing. It's just, we drive down 4 hours just to have the fucking sandwich, come back 4 hours. It's crazy. But Lizzie's, if you gotta go to Lizzie's.
Yeah, I have my daughter moved. She lives in the city now.
In Baltimore.
No, she used to live in Baltimore. But I used to love to go to Baltimore. You know, it just, I knew what I was going down there for. We're going to have crab. We're going to have crab. So when are we going to have, which crab place we going to? Oh, I heard about this crab. Well, let's go.
There's like 3 places in Annapolis that we absolutely love. Yeah. Oh my God. And that's what we do. She wants to get in the car. Like, I want to just hang out with my oven. Oh shit, I'm burning cookies.
Uh-oh.
I want to hang out with my oven, right?
Are they gone?
Yeah, I burned them. Look.
Yeah.
I forgot all about it. That's okay. I'll just cut that piece off. No one will know.
No, she won't know.
So you smell it burnt now, right? You smell it?
Burnt chocolate sometimes pretty good.
I'll cut the burnt part off. She won't know. I forgot all about them because you're talking too much. God damn it!
I know.
So, what are we talking about?
Annapolis crabs.
Crabs. Oh yeah. So, like, I want to just hang out and play with my oven, right? But she wants to go drive here and drive there and drive. So, but if we're driving places, I got to taste shit. So, there's like places in Maine that we love. There's places in Maryland that we love. We went to Charleston like last year. Holy shit, the food in Charleston is amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Which place did you go to?
So,
we used to go to Charleston all the time. I don't know if there's still the same restaurant.
I don't remember all the names of the restaurants, but I remember having shrimp and grits like 5 different
Different places,
right?
Yeah.
There was one that had like a Tazo sauce. There was one that had a Cajun style. There was another one that had some other, and they were all amazing. And I'm not a big liver person, right? We discussed liver earlier, and I'm not really a big fan of chicken livers. But I had fried chicken
foie
livers.
gras?
I love foie gras.
Foie gras?
I love foie gras. Okay.
I don't like chicken livers.
Do you roll with foie gras? But
What?
do you do White Castles?
Of course.
See? There you go.
Of course.
I do foie gras. I do White Castles.
I used to get White Castles when they were 8 cents a piece, though.
For me, it was more like
maybe 6
10
cents.
or 12 cents.
6 cents, maybe. When we used to go, there was
and Nungessers.
Nungessers,
yes,
yeah.
of course.
Right,
that's where you had to go.
Yeah. And we used to go fishing early in the morning.
I never went fishing.
In Hudson County Park. That would be
in the park. Yeah.
So we used to go there, and we used to go there about 5 o'clock in the morning. Around 6:30, one of us would drive to White Castles and bring back a sack. You know,
love White Castles.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
I could do foie gras too.
Oh.
but I'm not crazy about chicken livers.
No, I'm not either.
I make an awesome chicken liver pate. I'll send you that recipe.
No, I'm not interested.
No,
I don't like
this.
Chicken.
It's like liverwurst.
You know, I'll tell you an interesting story about liverwurst. Liver. Do you know the old tables that they had? Formica tops, chrome sides with the tubes, the chrome tubes that used to go kitchen tables.
Yeah. I think you're talking about the place. No, right. The Formica top with the chrome legs. Yeah.
Well, I hated liver. Okay. There's some place out there in the Netherlands, in the Nethers, that their tubes are stuffed with liver. Because I used to take it and shove it in the tube. After a while, I had to go to a different place. Why do you want to sit over there? That's the place is over here. I said, well, those tubes are full. She actually, but this was beef liver. See now.
Yeah. Well, beef liver and calf's liver is different.
Oh.
Yeah, big difference. But the calf's liver I just made tonight, I took a little taste just to see. It was good. It was.
Yeah, sometimes calf's liver. Yeah, I mean,
it was good, and I'm not a fan.
We always had the beef liver. So.
Oh man.
That was.
But I'm not a big fan of the chicken livers. But I had fried chicken livers down in Charleston. Holy shit, they were good.
Yeah, more fat. They probably put a lot of fat in it. A lot of butter.
Well, I'm going to do it.
A lot of chicken.
Now that I have an outlet, I'm going to get a one of those induction plates out here, and then I could fry out here without stinking up the house. You good?
I'm good. I've had it.
You're not drinking and driving, right? No, we didn't have much. So we've been talking for a while. I think I might shut.
See, now I married my wife because she can talk. This a little story.
Okay, now I got to know. Go ahead.
Well, we live on Route 17 in Ramsey. Okay, and we live right in back of where the Wawa is. The new Wawa. Have you been up there?
I have not.
Okay. Well, there's a Wawa that they opened, and we fought against. I live in a townhouse community now, and we fought against this Wawa coming in for 10 years. We kept it out, but last year it came.
They made it.
So they were, and it was a long-standing fight. It was always in the record that we were fighting, you know, and we kept them out for 10 years.
Why'd you want them out?
Do you want to live behind a wall?
You don't want the traffic. Oh yeah, I got you.
It's like a hangout. And that's what we have now. We have people playing radios till 12 o'clock at night. Luckily, my bedroom's in the front. You know. But anyway,
you got a shotgun? Yeah,
I've been there. I've been there several times talking to these people. Really, go someplace else. Anyway, so one of the news stations came and they were walking around because they had just gone to Bergen County for appeals
Uh-huh.
to appeal because the local people turned it down. So
Uh-huh.
they appealed it, and of course they won the appeal and we got fucked. But so they talked to me, which I would go to every meeting and things. I'm retired. I got nothing better to do than to listen in a meeting. It was better than what's on TV. And I talked to these people for 20 minutes. My wife gets out there and they talk to her for about 2 minutes. There was a minute and 55 seconds of her and 5 seconds of me
Oh, on
the TV.
the thing, right?
What am I going to do? I made the big time today.
But you can talk, you said.
Oh, she can talk. She paints a picture. I mean, it is a beautiful thing, and I can't do it, because she does. She paints. She tells you everything, and me, I don't remember. She could ask me.
What did she do for a living before?
What did she do? She was a med tech for a while.
Okay.
For her till we had kids. She became a stay-at-home mom, and but she was a med tech. She tests certain things, and then for the last part of her job before we had Julia, she would do the testing right in the open heart uh, uh, operating room because they needed to know the blood levels and this and that, and they have to have it tested right away. So she was right in the operating room in Hackensack for about 2 or 3 years. And she used to work like 3 to 11, so it was perfect for me because I would get home at 12, and she would just be getting in.
Right, right.
Then we'd stay up for 2 or 3 hours and then go to sleep.
Sure.
I still haven't.
It's a rough business.
Gotten to the point where I'm where I can get up early and not feel it because I'm a late night guy.
Uh-huh.
And the other night I stayed up to see the
election,
the speech.
Uh-huh.
Because I knew it was coming, and I saw the first one when he won, and I wanted to see the third one when he won.
I go up to your neighborhood sometimes. Well, we used to go to Macaroni Grill.
Oh, okay.
Right? But they're gone.
They're gone.
But now I go up to Suffern sometimes. There's an open mic at this Rhino Comedy Club in Suffern.
No, I don't know it. I didn't know there was a comedy club.
Yeah, it's a little comedy club, but it's Suffern, so you got to take 17 and then get off.
Yeah.
Before the
you go up
right on the main
Franklin
strip.
Turnpike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like a half a block from where I live. Right before you get onto Franklin Turnpike.
So I'll let you know next time I go up there.
Yeah, I'll wave to you.
Yeah.
But I can't because they built trees.
A wall.
they put trees there. Now I don't know if 17 has traffic or not. You always look outside and see, oh my God, it's all blacked up.
How do you like townhouse living besides having the Wawa? How do you like townhouse living?
I like it. It's nice. I really like my house. But it was I lived in Franklin Lakes, and it was 11 rooms and an acre property.
Right.
I had a pond.
Well, you were a little away from your neighbors, which is nice. Like you see how close I am.
Oh,
to my
it didn't bother me. But no, I wasn't that close. No.
Right.
But
you were much further away.
You can see much. Not that but there was buffers between each house.
Right.
so I couldn't see the houses, but they weren't that far from me. Maybe this house is gone, and then it's the next house, but this
Sure.
would no, maybe a little farther. But there was trees between each house,
Sure.
and there were herds of deer between each
A lot
house.
of deer.
Anyway, but I had a pond, and I really liked my fish and my, you know, it was nice. It was about as long as your patio, and maybe came out halfway to here. Not koi, and they would eat out of your hand. They would know me. Yeah,
They were koi, huh?
and they would know me when I would come out because they'd follow me all around the pond. But if anybody else, they wouldn't follow anybody else. Yeah, it was fun. There was something to do. Every morning there was something to do in there every day because
Yeah, because we looked at a townhouse in Philadelphia because our son's down there, and long story short, we decided against it. But I don't like. My wife keeps saying, "Well, I really want a house where I can't see the neighbors," and then we're looking at a townhouse. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
We were looking for a ranch when I sold my house. Because at the time, my younger daughter went to Notre Dame, and when she left for Notre Dame, we knew she was never going to come back. Because she's an independent type girl, I mean, she's a very family oriented, but she loves to live by herself. She and we were living in 2 rooms. We were living in a room with a TV and the kitchen
And the other
and
rooms
the bathroom and the bedroom.
Right.
And all the other rooms were, we didn't go in them.
Right.
Except if we had company or something. But it was I love the house. And I love the inside. But I like the townhouse. We have nice neighbors. It's big. It's about 4,000 square feet.
Oh, that's huge.
And I do a lot of woodworking, and I have a full shop downstairs and a finished basement and a room, my wife's yoga room down there.
Nice.
Yeah. It's so, and the garage is nice and big. It's spacious. So, it's nice. It's nice. I don't have to. There are a lot of things I don't have to do anymore.
Right. Yeah, all that stuff.
All the outside stuff is taken care of. And they do a beautiful job on the the landscaping. I don't have to worry about weeds or anything. And if you like to plant, you can plant whatever you want, and then they take care of it.
Nice.
You don't have to go out there and if it dies, they replace what you planted. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Hey, that's what they do. I wish they would build a cement wall between me and a Wawa.
I turn those lights on again.
So,
all right.
But yeah, I stayed up till 3:15 the other night, waiting for Trump to come on. He finally did, and he didn't disappoint. What?
I had to work the next day. I went to sleep.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. But I still stay up to 12 or 1 o'clock every night. And I don't have to get up,
Right.
But I get up every day at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And it's really nice. I mean, you do what you want. We have enough income now, with the building. And, I don't have to work. But I don't know. You know,
Well, I mean,
it's not anything. I know a lot of people that can't take retirement, which I was not one. When I closed, I mean, after 38 years, I was the last one to leave,
Park and
and
Orchard.
Park and Orchard, and I locked the door.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was always the last to leave anyway. Locked the door. Where my brother would go early and leave early,
Uh-huh.
but I always stayed till I didn't want to get there early and do all the book work.
Gotcha.
So I stayed and did it at
Oh,
night.
but you were generally there every day, both of you.
Not both of us.
No.
We were never in the new restaurant. We would when we first started the new restaurant. We were there maybe 1 or 2 days together.
Uh-huh.
But after maybe a year, we never worked together. You know, if I was there, he would never come when I was there. I would never come when he was there.
Gotcha.
So I had half the days off,
That's
but I also worked half the whole days when I was there.
right.
You know, I was there from before lunch to way after dinner.
Yeah, you guys were open for lunch for a while.
We used to open, then we closed.
Then you didn't, right? I
Then we
remember.
opened, then we didn't. But
Because for a little while, I worked at Ernst and Young in Lyndhurst, and then they moved to Secaucus. But when they were in Lyndhurst, you had lunch hours.
did you know a guy named Lou Miller?
I didn't.
He was a computer guy, and he had it started over here, and he didn't have anything on top. He combing over.
Gotcha.
He was I worked at Alexander's department store in there, corporate department, and I met him there, and then he worked for, I think he worked for Ernst and Young. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that for a little bit. They moved to Secaucus, but like I said, when they were in Lyndhurst, I remember having lunch at Park and Orchard a couple of times. So, but
Well,
I
thanks,
didn't.
Tom.
What's
I
that?
appreciate that.
It was either that or White Castle, right? So
It is. Hey, when I come down to see them all the time. But when I do come down,
who?
Ilya,
Oh,
we still own the building.
right. I ate there. That food's good.
Oh, I love that. My favorite restaurant.
That food's good.
And he just opened another one in Piedmont, which is it's gorgeous.
Is it? Yeah, no,
So
that's good food.
My older daughter got married there
At Alia.
at Ilya. We rented out the whole place. Of course, I got married at Park and Orchard, and she had the same priest. She had, she was in the same place. There's so many, things that were the same, and she had a good time. We had a great time. Food was wonderful. We had the cocktail hour inside. The wedding itself was outside. Then we went back inside and had the dancing and drinks and everything. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
so
I know I didn't ask you all the questions I wanted to ask you.
that's all right. I'll be back now. Now that I know your pizza's good,
I don't
your
remember.
blueberries are good.
Yeah, it was misshapen, but so you like the classic dough better than the other one, my experiment.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
It seemed a little looser. I like the flimsy.
Yeah, it was fluffier. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll figure it out. I got to experiment more.
You never stop.
Yeah.
My problem is that sometimes when I cook, I know what I like, so I put more of that in than the stuff that that's just superfluous going in there.
Uh-huh.
You know? so sometimes it doesn't work out that I like it that much.
I always write it down though. So when it finally works, I make sure that it's written down so that I can
never
repeat
write
it.
down.
Otherwise, I'll forget.
Sometimes some things I wrote down my barbecue sauce, and I have to make that again.
You have a barbecue sauce? I didn't know that.
Well, I have a lot of things.
I guess. Well, it wasn't at Park and Orchard, right?
No. Is it in there? I don't think I
don't
put that in.
recall any barbecue there. I don't remember there being any barbecue.
No, we used to smoke our own, the andouille sausage that we had.
You smoked your own?
Yeah.
Where was the smoker?
We would buy we had this little electric smoker in the back.
Oh, okay.
That we smoked the andouille sausage with. We used to buy the sausage from Goffle Road.
Okay.
In White Quart. And smoke it.
Well, there you go.
But it wasn't, it was part of a stir fry.
Right.
So we didn't have any sauce with it or anything. And it was chicken. I like pork sausage.
I remember having a pasta dish with the andouille sausage. Yeah.
I forget what it was called. There was corn in it.
But I used to eat both of the sausage pasta dishes. There was one with vinegar peppers and there was one without. I forgot. And I used to like both of those.
So I like the chicken sausage.
Yeah.
I would only get the hot chicken sausage though. Yeah, I forgot about the sausage with the vinegar peppers.
Yeah, they were both good.
But I'll send you the recipes. You can read what real crossfish pasta should be like.
I would love to see that. I'm going to send you mine.
Okay.
Because, it actually turned out pretty damn good.
I'm sure it did. It sounded good.
But, I knew it couldn't be the same,
Hey, if you like it, that's all that matters.
Well, right, but, I was trying to replicate it because, somebody kept ordering it, right?
Yeah.
But I will say this, the one that I made, so I served it that night. She's like, yeah, it's pretty good. But then she finished the next day. It was in the fridge. She took the leftovers and finished
it. It's really
thick.
thick.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's really thick too. But if you make it again, you can get the crawfish tails frozen at Wegmans.
Got it.
Are really good.
Okay.
They rival our.
And I don't need a stock.
No, you don't need the stock.
Okay.
Get the stock. No, we didn't do much with stocks. We weren't that kind of we didn't have many meat dishes.
I got you. No, but this is if you make an etouffee, you got to make a shrimp stock, right?
Right.
We want to wrap this up?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me shut off that camera.
I have to use your.
Yes. You see.